1 point here today for them means they don't move up the position. They're still in 10th at this point. And they're also still in the Europa League, which they will face Olympiacos in a matter of days before then facing Spurs, of course. Is the best way, do they still have hopes of making the top 4 through the league, Nigel?
No, I don't believe they can make the top 4, simply because if you look at the points gap, yes, they have a chance, but the amount of teams that are ahead of them and the points that they would have to make up over all those teams, if it was one, you could sort of say, well, one team might have a little blip and Arsenal could leapfrog that one team. But there's so many ahead of them, I do not believe it's possible for Arsenal to get in the top 4. I think what they'll be looking at the moment is whether they can get into an automatic European place. That's the big ask of Arsenal. The added bonus that they've got is they're still in Europa League. And they've got to believe that they've got a chance to win that, because winning the Europa League, although I will say that will be difficult as well, because there's some good teams in it, would then give them a Champions League. But Arsenal, it's very difficult today for me because I'm so frustrated that they didn't win. But I am seeing signs from Arsenal that the improvement is coming under Mikel Arteta. And I just think it will take him a little longer. And I think maybe 1 or 2 more changes and adding to the squad will make this an exciting team to watch going forward, that's for sure.
What do you mean by additions specifically?
Well, as a manager, you always have to look at positions you think that may be a concern. Maybe you can improve.
Where would be a concern for you?
Well, I don't. At this moment in time, I'm looking and thinking, are we scoring enough goals? No, I don't think we are. So you look at the Aubameyang with his age. You look at, will Lacazette get you enough goals? I've already said I like those 2 players. But is there, if Lacazette's come off the bench today, is there a player we can get in that can challenge Aubameyang regular? Is Aubameyang better at centre forward, or is he better coming in from the left-hand side? There are questions as a manager you have to ask yourself and feel that maybe you just have to switch and tinker with your team as time goes by. And I know for sure, I think Granit Xhaka has been in a decent run of form. People will look at him today and say, with the goal, what were you doing? But people are still debating now whether Xhaka is the right player in midfield for Arsenal. You have to ask these questions. There's nothing wrong with asking them. And the manager will make those decisions going forward. There's a question mark over right back. Is Bellerin the future of Arsenal at right back, or can we find an alternative player that will be better than Bellerin? So there's a lot for Arsenal to look forward to and debate, and Mikel Arteta will need to look at for Arsenal going forward, particularly into next season again.
Funny you mentioned Bellerin, because there's a lot of reports suggesting that he is looking to leave this summer, looking for new pastures. And from an Arsenal perspective, it might be a good time for them to make a decision about Bellerin in terms of cashing him in. And one person that's been linked to Arsenal is, you may not like this, Gary, is Tariq Lamptey. You're someone you're a big fan of.
Well, Tariq Lamptey has done fantastically well down at Brighton this season. But it's his first season in the Premier League. He's currently out injured and has been out injured for a little while. I think there's an awful lot of clubs looking at him because he's come onto the scene with such an impact. He's got great pace. He's really tenacious, very athletic, can play. I can understand why Arsenal might well be looking at him. But if we just go back to the question that you asked Nigel a minute ago, can Arsenal qualify for the Champions League next season in the top 4? I think it's quite simple. No. Can they get into the place to qualify them for the Europa League? I think that's mighty tight. But again, there are enough points available. Their best opportunity is via the Europa League. And of course, they are capable of winning that. And I think the area that Arsenal need to strengthen, I think they've got enough going forward. You know, Aubameyang scores your goals, Lacazette can score your goals. They've got enough creativity in midfield. For me, it's about being more solid at the back. So, yeah, the right-back position is a question mark for me. And I still look at the two central defenders. You know, I think that Arsenal will score more goals, win more games if they were defensively more solid at the back.
Would you agree? Is the centre-back also an issue for you, Nigel?
Well, I think the problem that Arsenal have got is they've bought many a centre-half over the last few seasons. I mean, they've shipped a couple of those out, but they still, you know, they've still got a lot of players in that position. At this moment in time, I don't think Arsenal are going to go out and buy another centre-half. I do not believe that. I think if Mikel Arteta gets any money, I think he's going to be looking at different positions to centre-half. So I maybe slightly disagree with Gary where Arsenal might be looking. I agree with right-back. I think they will be looking at right-back. And I still think that they might look, you know, in the centre of midfield as well. But that will be interesting to see because obviously Arsenal have got Ceballos and Odegaard on loan. They're actually not Arsenal players. So that's something that Arsenal will need to look at.
Would you be interested in Tariq Lamptey? Albeit he is still very young, he's still a little bit raw, but there is a lot of potential in the player. Very pacey as well.
Well, sometimes you have to take a chance. He's very pacey. I'd say to Gary, he's obviously seen him play a lot more than me. Is he a better wing back than he is an out-and-out full-back? I've seen him play a few times. He's very pacey. He likes to run with the ball. I think when I've seen him play, I think he's got good ability. I haven't seen him play enough out-and-out defensively and just in a right-back position to give that judgment, because I do believe Mikel Arteta wants to play with a back four. If you're playing with a back four, even in the modern game, you have to be good or better defensively than a lot of fullbacks are in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah. To answer your question, I think he's better as a wing back at the moment because he likes to get forward. But that's kind of the modern game, isn't it? But I still think he's athletic enough and good enough defensively to play as a right back in a four. The only time when possibly his physical size works against him is if people are pulling off on the back stick and the ball's hung up for crosses because he's not the tallest in the world. But no, I think Lamptey has a real chance of going the distance. I guess he had to leave Chelsea because there was just no options, no pathway for him at Chelsea. But Brighton knew what they were doing when they signed him, for sure.